Okay, Deb. Okay, so you're done with the second phase or P3.
Correct.
You did over 40 days of the very low calorie protocol.
Yep.
What was your weight when we started? Do you remember?
310.
Do you know what you are now?
I think probably around the same as when I left here before I started second phase, maybe a couple pounds
Have you
less.
weighed yourself at all?
I weighed myself once a couple weeks ago.
Well, let's weigh you on our scale. I'm gonna come over here, get your file, and you can weigh yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Let me. So hunger is still manageable. Have you started adding carbohydrates?
275.
So last time I saw you, you were what?
74, I think, wasn't it?
And now you're 275.
I was 276 at home, but yours was 274.
Okay, so you're maintaining well. But here's what
Yeah.
here's what this tells me. For the first 2 years that I worked with patients with the protocol, I did metabolic testing and body fat compositions because I really wanted to understand the protocol from a much deeper view of the body. And so I did the best I could with what I had, which is way more than what Dr. Simeon's had. And is way more than what most people have that are doing it on their own today. And what I found is that for people who did it with the hunger scale, that their fat continued to go down, even though their weight was stable. So the weight in food, weight in digestion, you should notice your body's still reshaped. Even though the scale wasn't changing, you should have felt like your body was still...
I have.
I know it.
I have, yeah.
Well, and that's based on all the data I collected, you're normal.
Fabulous.
That's what I found. That's why I'm like, well, your weight is stable. However, you should feel like your body is still losing fat. Which is what I found through the metabolic testing. Right now, your metabolism should be much higher than it was than when you started.
That's why I'm stabilized.
Not only are you burning more fuel, you have more fuel demand, but you have less hormonal problems because you've lost a significant amount of fat, but your body weight is stable because your weight in food digested, your lean body mass is higher,
Okay.
and your fat loss is still going down.
Okay.
But at this point, it's not going down rapidly.
No.
I don't care. You want to know why?
I'm okay with that too.
Because I'm really concerned that you get used to in this state of normalcy. That you don't revert back to your old normal way of doing things. That you would get exposed to this new way of doing it, and you do it long enough that the old way, you'll never return.
I really feel this is my normal now. I mean, after these few weeks, it is amazing. It's a difference. Because I went to the state fair.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Minnesota State Fair, which has everything on a stick.
Yeah, and normally, it's one of those things you have to, oh yeah, let's try that, fries and all that stuff. And I was good. I had pork chop on a stick, which is grilled, so it was good. I did have to have a beer.
Awesome. Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Was it a dark beer, a red beer, a light beer, a summer beer?
Berry lemon.
Okay, so it was a summer beer.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel that it triggered a need to eat sugar, starch, and have more beer?
No.
Why do you think?
I actually didn't even finish it all.
Why is that? Because you're still considered morbidly obese. You'd still be considered leptin resistant, which means you're supposed to be hungry all the time, mind you. And something like a beer, which is high in starch, did not increase your
Not
appetite.
during that day. Maybe it's because I was walking so much.
I don't know. But you didn't have guilt. You didn't have shame.
No.
Well, in the past, what would you would have gone to the fair and what would have happened? Let's do a comparison.
Oh, I would have had at least a couple beers. Would have had the fries. Would have had to have the pork chop on the stick.
Did any of that have to do with hunger?
Oh, no. No, it's just because you're at the fair. You have to try it all.
I know, and it's only once a year, so
And
that's how you justify it.
And it's got the best fries, the stand. Gotta have them.
Okay, so you went there, and you thought all of those same things, right?
It was all about the food. I'm going to the fair for the food.
So were you nervous going to the fair this year?
No.
Why? Did you feel vulnerable to food? Did you feel like it controlled you this time?
No. I was going to say I felt in control. I felt
Thank you.
like I was...
Like it didn't really, you weren't afraid of it?
No.
It didn't, and so you were still capable of experiencing foods that you prioritized. Did you, obviously you prioritized that pork on a stick.
Oh yeah, because
And
I
that-
hadn't eaten a lot of protein. I thought, okay, it's about, late in the day and we were going to the concert. I'm like, I have to have some kind of protein.
Yeah.
And that was what I was thinking would be good, plus it was some of the fat that I needed.
Yeah.
And we
So it was
had
an intelligent decision.
strawberries with real whipped cream.
Oh, I know. Oh, stop it.
I did try
Yummy.
frozen custard,
Yeah, what'd you think?
just because it was a mocha chocolate, which was really good. And I got the cup, and I threw half of it away, because I was like, I was full,
Mm-hmm.
and I shocked myself that I realized that, oh my God, I'm full.
So it didn't make you hungrier. It didn't make you crave more
No.
food. Before, you would have eaten the whole thing because you
It
were
was there.
entitled to it.
Yeah,
Did you have any guilt associated to it?
not at all.
Because you were entitled to it.
You mean this time?
No, last
Oh,
time.
last time, yeah.
Did you have guilt last time? I mean, anytime you
Oh,
went
I
out and
always
ate like
had,
this.
I always had guilt.
Say that one more time. You overate and you had continual guilt about it.
Exactly.
Do you feel that being guilty about eating those foods, that it did it in any way add fuel to overeating?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I know it.
Absolutely. You feel guilty, and it's that emotion that I do, that if I feel guilty or if I feel sad, I have to have food, because
You
it
screwed it up
pushes
anyways.
it down. It pushes that feeling away, and I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
And it just
when you
keeps
think about
repeating
it?
over and over.
It's like a vicious mental illness
Mm-hmm.
with physical consequences.
Yeah.
And you're getting high physically. You're getting off physically and you hate it the whole time. I know it's crazy.
But I was full when I threw it up. Plus, it was like, okay, it's a little too rich.
Yeah, isn't that
So
awesome?
it
You can
was.
tell, like when there's no emotion backing the decision or fear or guilt, all of a sudden you're aware of the physical, like, wow, this is too intense. I don't even want it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not impulsively eating out of, oh my God, this is bad. I can't have it. I have guilt. Now it sucks. I might as well eat the whole thing because I've screwed it up anyways, and I'm going to eat everything now in sight.
Nope.
Isn't that awesome to feel liberated from that crazy, crazy game?
I never thought I'd be here. I never thought I would. It's a whole different feeling.
Tell me what it took. You know, there are people out there who are where you were. What is it? What could you tell them in any way? Is there something about this process? What did it take for you to be open to this type of change? Can you give them a little bit of your experience?
For me, it was because I needed to lose weight for medical reasons.
Okay.
I wanted to get off the medication I was on.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to feel good, and I wasn't feeling good. No clothes were fitting. I couldn't go to a regular store and buy clothes. I couldn't walk without feeling aches and pains all over.
Yeah, and
it
you
was-
started at 310.
Mhm.
310.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're only down 35, 40 pounds, but it's like, it's enough to make you feel like you can do things again.
Mm-hmm.
And my medications are down. I mean, it was just, that was the biggest part for me.
Yeah, that you feel like, okay, we've got you to a new place,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got you to a new place with your relationship with food. Does it feel easy?
Yes. Much easier than it did eating all the food, which is really strange to me.
Yeah. Oh, it's way easier. It takes a lot of work to have an addiction
Mm-hmm.
because you have to do all this justifying and rationalizing, and there's all this guilt, but then there's all this sense of vulnerability. So then you got to memorize all these rules, and none of them ever work because they don't really deal with the emotions. And then you got to hate food, and you got to be fearful of it. I mean, think about all the work that goes into that obsession.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were right when you said your mind is clear, because it is. It feels like I cleaned my mind out.
Well, we got rid of a lot of baggage as
Yeah.
far as like the fact. Do you feel that you would have made this progress if I had focused intensely on your weight?
No. Well, I could have made it here, but I think I would have started going back.
Well, yeah, for sure. Because it was all about weight and losing weight. The indication of success was just how much do you weigh? Or have you lost body shape and size, where our success was this relationship you had to divorce from food. You really had to go through grieving.
Oh yeah, and it was. It was
sad.
Yeah, that one whole week was like.
I remember you coming in afterwards saying, I was just so sad. Just sad.
Yep, it was a bad week.
But you felt, well, wasn't that so necessary?
Yeah.
Do you feel that that may have been what turned a corner for you, was getting through that week and knowing that if you just fed into it, that it was going to continue?
Oh, I think so.
That by going through kind of the grieving of that relationship with food and making it out, that it gave you a new way to think about yourself in life, and that food really shouldn't have ever been as important as you made it.
Oh, exactly. And emotion shouldn't make me feel like I need food. And that's how I always felt. It's like different, anything, I don't care if it was happy, sad, whatever, it was always food.
It's always associated to food.
Yeah.
So if you're happy, let's go eat. If you're sad, let's go eat. If you're bored, let's eat.
Yeah.
If you're to movies, let's eat.
Everything.
If you're with your friends, go eat. If you're with your parents, eat. And so because we tackled that, because I basically said, you need to get out in the real world. You need to do this. You need to live. You need to find new hobbies. Eating should not be an option. I don't know. Is it the approach that food isn't bad, that it's actually just only appropriate at specific times? Does that help?
What do you mean?
I think sometimes the act of taking away the demon to food, that food isn't you shouldn't be demonizing food, that you should just be prioritizing food when you're hungry, that so simplifies it.
That's the whole thing when you said when you're hungry. Once I got that in my brain, it was like, well, I don't even want to eat because I'm not hungry. And I do that all the time now. It's just like, I'm just amazed I can do that.
It's such a isn't it just so easy? And once the decision's made, well, if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. It doesn't matter. I don't care how bad I want it. I'm not hungry. It is so liberating because it's pretty safe. And now you've done it. You did it this whole time. Eating custard, drinking beer, having bad food, and you're still maintaining, and you don't feel impulsive eating is necessary. You're totally leptin resistant. You are breaking all the rules right now. You know that, right?
Very cool.
Well, by the way, every patient I have is exactly the same. As far as like, they're not hungry. They don't impulsively eat based on this addictive response to food. They don't. It's all psychological. It is this psychological impulse that's driving everything. And then they have a physical outcome.
It's been great.
I know. I'm so proud of you.
It's just been great.
You're glowing.
I am proud of me. I really am.
So we've just got one more minute. Do you feel the need to do another round, or would you like to wait and live in this for a little bit longer?
A little while, but I have my date set when I'm going to start the next round.
Awesome.
October 15th.
Okay. So the key is not feeling like, well, I have to, because I'm going to go on another round, I'll just let go of everything. Too many people overeat and gain weight just because they know they're going to do the protocol. And they're basically gaining weight to lose the weight they just gained. Do you know how hard that is on the endocrine system?
Well, it's the same as when you diet. You diet, you gain it back, then you got to diet again to lose
Totally.
it. You know, it's...
You got it. So what I'm saying is, don't use the next round of the protocol as an enabler for you to go back to that one night stand with food. You know what I mean? So it's incredible. Do you have anything to say? You've got like 30 seconds.
It's a fabulous program. I'm glad I met you. You're wonderful.
I know that. Well, it takes humility, and you did it.
It was tough, but it's a good thing.
A whole new life ahead of you. You crawled out of the rock.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know. Thanks.